tell me about back to that statement?
Yes. Absolutely. Jesus is God from God, light from light, true God from true God, begotten, not made, of one being with the Father. Through him all things were made. That latter bit refers about him making the universe.
Yeah.
But it's like, this is like a hammer hitting a nail again and again. God from God, bang. Light from light, bang. True God from true God, bang. Begotten, not made, bang. Of one being with the Father, bang. This is like, how many times you need to get the point across? And he is basically, the council is wanting to make it clear beyond peradventure that Christ is not different from God in his essence, but he is the very God himself. And what we say is that we have the Father begets the Son in an eternal generation. So there's never a time when there's the Father alone and the Son was not, as the Arian heretics said, the followers of the Catholic priest Arius. Most of our bad heresies come from Catholic priests, like Luther and Arius and Calvin and Zwingli. But here, back in the centuries before they were even known of, we can speak of Christ being begotten by an eternal generation from the Father. And then we speak of the Spirit issuing from the Father and the Son by spiration. He's breathed from them. The Spirit comes to us from the Father through the Son, or from the Father and the Son. This is another point of contention we've had with another group called the Eastern Orthodox, that's right. But just dwelling on the Holy Trinity for a moment, we have this eternal generation and eternal spiration, so that the Trinity was always there, and there are different ways of looking at the Trinity. One is, we can say, look, God, the Father, has the divine thought. Now, a divine thought is not like our thought, contingent and limited. It's a complete, God reflecting upon himself. In that moment of reflecting upon himself, the Son, the fullness of that self-reflection is generated. So you have the Father and the Son. The Father and the Son, in relation to one another, are in a relation of absolute love. And that love breathes forth the Spirit, because the fullness of that love is the Spirit. Just as the self-reflection of the Father is the Son and nothing more can be said, so there's no further generations, because the fullness of the generation is the Son. So the fullness of the love of Father and Son is the Spirit. And there's no more spirits to be generated, because that's the completeness of love. And thus we have only a Trinity and can only ever have a Trinity. If that kind of analysis weren't enough, we have the Holy Scriptures, which tell us that there's a Spirit who teaches, and a New Testament that tells us there's a Spirit who teaches. A conscious entity, if you like, distinct from the Father and the Son. So those who would say, like Jehovah's Witnesses, that their Spirit is like an energy, a force. They're
Power in a battery.
Yes, that's right, power in a battery. These people are not engaging with the text of Scripture.